Welcome into Varsity Vibe. I'm your host, Alyssa Orange. Always love it when you join us for these conversations, and really excited about the one that we are going to share with you today with DaShaun Stark of the new school. And DaShaun Stark, more than familiar with basketball here in Northwest Arkansas, as he says, Missouri-born, Arkansas raised. He was a standout at Springdale as a player, spent time coaching at AAO before becoming an assistant at the new school, and eventually taking over as the athletic director and head coach in 2024. Now his vision is to build the Cougars program as a first prep school opportunity in Arkansas, a vision he believes only helps continue to grow and develop the basketball talent the state has to offer. And with the way that college athletics is going and how it's impacting the high school level, why not dream big and see what happens?
Excited to have DaShaun Stark here in studio with us on Varsity Vibe. And, DaShaun, you're from here. Happy to have you. And I know you've got a lot of exciting stuff happening at the new school, so we're excited to talk about it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and I'm excited to be here.
Let's talk about your basketball background. Growing up in Springdale, playing at Springdale, what was that like in high school?
Well, actually, I moved here in fourth grade. I'm from Springfield, Missouri, and had kind of started playing basketball the day before. But once I got here, got connected with a good friend, lifelong friend, Corliss Williamson's oldest son, Chasen. We were same grade, same school, and started playing basketball together. And what that kind of started for me was an easy way shifting into the Northwest Arkansas community, being an outsider. So ended up getting me to Springdale High School, and after playing for some really great coaches, even in junior high, Coach Price, the legendary Coach Price at Southwest, and then going to play for Brad Stamps at Springdale High School. And it was an amazing time. It was also very competitive time for us. Springdale was high on the basketball rankings across our area and throughout the state. And for me to walk in as a sophomore and get to have experience at that level was really, really special, and be around some high-level basketball players and high-level coaching. And it's cool to come full circle now and kind of be putting back into the community that kind of raised me.
Yeah, it's cool when you talk about Coach Stamps. Of course, he's at Fayetteville now and having success, this year. What did you learn maybe from him as a player that you've taken into your coaching world?
Yeah, the biggest thing I could say from Coach Stamps is the relationship component.
Yeah.
Especially during the time of 16 to 18-year-old young men, without the relationship component that I had during that time of my life, I don't know if I get to a place where I'm as passionate about what I do now. And just to know, the simple things, whether it's he used to let me take his truck to go get lunch, and so I didn't eat the cafeteria, and just little things like that, how much those moments make the person and make the young man, the experience all kind of come together. So, and ultimately it's bigger than just winning games. Obviously that, we're held to a standard where that's the expectation, but the lifelong relationships and memories and moments are bigger usually off the court. So,
did you always want to get into coaching? Did you have a different idea of what you wanted when you were younger?
Yeah, I wanted to play.
Yeah.
I still, at the age of 30, think sometimes I can play, and I'm humbled in the mornings when my body wakes up to get out of bed and I thought we'd be lame. But yeah, that was always the goal and the dream. Spent a lot of time, full year. I like to tell a lot of our kids, if you're playing for a good program, you're probably playing on spring break. I never had a spring break until my last year of college. And so to be in a space where I committed as early as I did to the game and have the opportunity to play, I wanted to do that as long as I could. And because of a few different things, I got to a place where God put me where I'm supposed to be, and that's in the coaching profession now.
Yeah. When you got into it, how did you get into the coaching?
Yeah, so I started really on the development, the training side. I've got a little brother who's a sophomore at the College of the Ozarks, still play college basketball. We're 10 years apart. So I was kind of in a space where I could work with him some. And then my freshman year at Drury University, back in 2013, the assistant coach actually had two kids that he no longer could work with, a fourth and a fifth grader, and asked me if I wanted to make some extra money, easy lessons, whatever. And right then and there, I kind of really got into the training space and fell in love with it. And so now, fast forward 2026, I've been training kids for over 13 years. And specifically in the Northwest Arkansas community, it was AAO.
Yeah.
And so as my playing days winded down and my firstborn was born in COVID year, April 28th. So that kind of transition to now I want to stay here. Now I don't want to go overseas or do anything else. And I want to build something in the community. And I had the experience of training and walked into AAO. Honestly, just wanted to get court time for my little brother so I could work with him. And in order for me to do that, I had to become a part-time trainer and work some of their camps and programs. And it's awesome for me, right? Yeah, not easy. Yeah, and I get paid for it, right? So to be able to do that, and shortly after that, that started in October-ish, and I turned AAO flight 8th grade 14-year coach in that following February. And I mean, that was the class of 2025. And so to have those kids and coach with them in the spring and summer and develop with them throughout the rest of the year kind of transitioned me eventually to get into whatnot.
Yeah, man, I want to pick your brain a little bit about AAO flight and just that travel basketball mentality. Yeah. How cool is it to be in that environment? Not only training kids at a high level, but now you're traveling and seeing the best around the country.
Yeah, it's the thing I love most about it, where I've taken the most from it, is one, we have some really good basketball players in the state of Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas for sure, but across the state, like our talent matches up. What doesn't match up is a lot of times the opportunity. And when you go to these places all over the country, you see some of the bigger metro areas, and you see like a kid that maybe really, really good in the state of Arkansas, if he was to just be in Dallas and be the same level of player, he would get more opportunities granted to him because you're from Dallas or you're from New York or you're from California, right? But that doesn't mean that the kids that are in these areas are that much better or that much worse either way than the ones in Arkansas. And so the travel component has allowed me to see a lot of the talent, realize how good Arkansas talent really is. But yeah, I love it because you still get the off the court memories, right? Like we always try to do something team, whether it's Dave and Buster's, whether it's eat out together, something, the hotel memories, right? Like,
girl, I play trap softball, so I get it. Like we got the travel memories are probably the things I remember the most than the results on the softball field. So I hit it.
Yeah, that's huge, and to be able to watch the kids grow up in front of you, and you, as I'm now on the high school side, there's just certain things in the prep space we get to see a little bit kind of because we travel still, but not quite as much where it's a little more free and wide open on the 80 side.
Yeah, I love that you talk about the talent in the sport because that's called foreshadowing, everybody, because it kind of plays into exactly what you're trying to build as a new school, which we're going to get to. But when you're able to see that kind of talent on that travel space, how is that, you kind of talked about it, but how has that opened up your eyes to continuing to see the talent develop in the state here and how much it's grown, even just in the last 10 years?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, there's plenty of talent here. And I think along with social media kind of starting to open up, and then great people like yourself who are starting to cover more of the high school sports in our space, I think that's allowing us to now have a bigger reach outside of the state of Arkansas and to showcase what we do here. But the talent across the world, and especially just last summer, we went to New York, we went to South Texas. This year with the new school, we've gone to Florida. So, I mean, I've seen international talent. I've seen in-state talent. I've seen the bigger metro talent across the country. And it's a lot there. But again, I mean, I'll take the best in Arkansas against just about anybody.
Yeah. I've felt that for a long time, just even covering it on the collegiate level, that it went from Bobby Cordes was the kid out of Arkansas.
Yeah. So getting certainly away from state championship opportunities.
Right. And so it's just like but then to look and see like there are so many kids here that can play D1 basketball and they're getting the exposure. I mean, you even sit down and I talked with Shelby Lewis at at Central who took his team to Alaska. I mean, to give these kids opportunities to be noticed is huge for them.
Yeah. And what we've been able to do, and again, I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit like at the new school, but we've been able to match up our kids with some of these other ones across the country.
Yeah.
I was just reviewing film from when we were down in Florida, and we played a kid committed to Wisconsin, and I had no idea he was committed to Wisconsin. He really didn't. We did a good job on him. He was good. We did a good job on him. And just to know that, looking back, like our guys have played against these level of players and can go toe to toe with them. It's pretty special.
All right. So since we're there, let's talk about it. You're at the new school, you're an assistant, you're training, right? When you have an opportunity in front of you to see the potential that it could become, when did you kind of start to think about, or has the new school always been built to be a prep school structure? Or did you say, hey, we've got an opportunity, there's enough talent here to where kids can play for us, they don't have to leave to get noticed? Where did that all kind of start?
Yeah, a combination of things. So first, when I was brought in by the great Coach Farrell, who did a lot of really good things, not only at the new school but long before that. I didn't even know it was there, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, it's a 30-acre campus. It's amazing, beautiful facilities and resources, but
it's hit it. If you're driving around Fayetteville again,
No.
you'd never have an idea.
Yeah, right. And so to be able to walk on campus, and I was amazed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when the opportunity presented itself 2 years ago for me to kind of take over and run the program, really the truth of the matter is, like, private school versus public school in our area, the state of Arkansas, there's not a real separation, and maybe it's warranted, maybe it's not, but what we can't do is fully scholarship kids, right? Or couldn't do in the past, and it's against the recruiting rules and all those kind of things. And the reality is, for us to grow our program, I mean, tuition is fairly expensive at the new school, and to be able to provide more opportunities to grow our athletic program, you have to find ways to be able to help bring them in. And not everybody can afford the full tuition amount, right? So being able to take some of those guardrails off were big for us. And then I thought, having seen some of the other places and across the country, you see a lot more of the prep space. But what you also see with it from a negative side is there's a lot of opportunities that, like, they sell them as something good, but the infrastructure is bad. And so what I've always loved is we have a real class schedule. We have great teachers. The academic model is already college preparatory. So you have a block schedule. You have 4 core subjects. You're rotating. You have study halls. You have advisory meetings. So that academic structure to me was really, really special.
Yeah.
And if I could add something that was also college preparatory on the athletic side, that to me was a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Now we have a long way to go to be able to really get anywhere close to the ceiling, but the ceiling is really, really high. And there is a lot of great talent in the state of Arkansas. As you know, I have Abe Carlister.
Yeah.
He left last year to go to a prep school, an academy, right? And we have, in my opinion, better resources and a better facility.
Yeah.
And we also happen to be 20 minutes from his parents' house, right? So why leave and go 4 or 5 hours away when we can stay here and we can provide you something just as special, right? And so hoping to do that with more. And then in the state of Arkansas, and provide an opportunity. We still want to see the traditional high school model grow, and all of our other schools, traditional high schools, continue to have success. But as we both know, the college landscape is changing.
Yep.
And it's making the high school situation a lot more important for those that want to get to college basketball. So we want to provide an opportunity.
Yeah. I want to strip it down just a little bit for our audience and a little bit for me too. Explain to those who maybe don't know or aren't in this space when the kid said, I'm here to go play prep school, what does that exactly mean? How is that different from just going to their normal high school?
Yeah. Well, one thing is the commitment. And if you want to be in a space where, you are trying to go play college basketball, that is the focus. And rightfully so, that is not everybody's focus that plays in traditional high school. They may just want the high school basketball experience. But for those that are willing to make that commitment and want that to make that decision, we want to create, and the other prep schools across the country want to create that space for them. It allows you to play higher level talent, allows you to not be stuck in a certain conference that where you only can play a certain level of competition. You can go seek out more competition, and then also the component of like the exposure and the recruiting availability. I mean, we've played against over 15 Division I committed Division I players, not to mention the ones that have offers on the table already this year.
Right.
We played against 5 kids that are all ranked in the top 100 respectively in their classes. And so to be able to play against those guys, you also get college coaches in the building at our games and in these events that we travel to and play in. So just providing a bigger opportunity for those that are trying to take those steps to get into college basketball.
Yeah, and from an academic side, I love that you talked about how much the game is changing with college athletics and with high school. I mean, we saw a football player at Fate, they'll be able to reclassify to enroll in college a year sooner. I mean, this is what kids are doing nowadays with the way that it's going. You guys give these kids an opportunity. I don't want to say a fast track, but a lane to be able to achieve their collegiate aspirations on their own time.
Right. Yeah. And it's, I tell a lot of our parents right now, like, you know, it's probably the toughest time ever to be a high school junior. And we try to get into college sports as a freshman. But what we can do is make a decision earlier to put you in the right space. We've got a freshman and a sophomore that enrolled at our school. And one of the conversations I had with their parents, like, you did the hardest part already by making a decision to put them in a situation that is geared towards getting them to college basketball. So now you got to stick with it and trust the process and be patient. But the hardest part, in my opinion, is done. You put them in an elevated pathway, and now we just have to run the race.
Yeah. Let's talk about that pathway. How exciting is it for you to be building what you're building at the new school?
Yeah, it's I'm passionate about it.
Sure.
It takes a lot of work. It comes with it. My wife will tell me if I didn't have anything to do, I'd be bored. So it's good that it comes with a lot of work. But, you know, I've got an amazing staff, coaches that have seen this space, seen the college recruiting side, and have been close to me for many, many years. And I can trust them, they can trust me. And that makes the work a heck of a lot easier to do, right? But again, like I said earlier, the ceiling is so high. Like, I don't even know if I can see it.
Sure.
But it's going to take more time. It's going to take, you know, this is the first time we've got a kid. Okay, he's going to the SEC. What does he do when he gets there? Where does his career go after that, right? And it takes time to see that all the way through. And then for next year, it's like we're graduating 6 seniors. Who do we bring in next? And we've got some young ones that are already here and actively working on getting some more, even outside of the state. And so for me, that's the challenge of it is very exciting. The potential of it is extremely exciting. And just to know that at the end of the day, we're providing another opportunity on the state of Arkansas for our own kids as well.
What is the message when you are getting the word out there? You know, you talk about some guys from out of state, but in-state guys, you know, prep schools aren't new, but the new school is, and what you guys are building. And so what's the selling point for your program? Yeah,
for the ones that are in state, again, you know, if you're already looking to go to a prep school, now there's one you don't have to leave the state for.
Yeah.
We're going to go play a national schedule. We've shown that. We're going to go play against high-level competition. We're going to get evaluated by scouts, by coaches. So if you're looking for that already, there's a place here for you. If you're not looking for that and you think you should be, first look at what commitment you are willing to make. Because if you're not, like, we're 12 months out of the year. You know, as soon as our season ends, the guys will get a 2-week break, and then they're in the weight room 4 times a week, all the way through graduation. They get another 2-week break, and we come back, and the majority of the summer we're in the gym again. So just knowing the commitment, preseason we're in the weight room and in the gym in the early mornings, and then back at it again after. So like there's no hours restrictions. There's no we're not competing with other sports. You know, a lot of kids will play football and then transfer to basketball as the seasons change. we don't do that. Like, this is all year round. And it's not for everybody, but we do know it's for somebody, right? And we've got the experience, we've got relationships with college coaches. And again, you're going to put yourself in the space where the focus is these kids all want to go play college basketball.
Yeah.
And that's big.
Yeah. You mentioned Aiden, and of course you mentioned going to Missouri next year. How big can it be for him to be, I don't want to say a poster child, but an example of what you guys can produce? And he was talented and getting recruited before he came to the new school, but to be someone who said, hey, Aiden bought in to the process, bought into what we want to build here. And now look at him. How big would that be?
Oh, it's tremendous. He's a blueprint. Yeah. And even more so before he was at new school, the thing that I love, he was with AAO Flight, started like 5th or 6th grade. And he worked with Gage Jensen and Sean Seiler during that time. And then about 7th, 8th grade, I came into the picture and kind of continued on the development path. But not only do I like to say, hey, he trusted the process at new school, but here's what he did to even get good enough to be in this situation beforehand.
Right.
And so that blueprint is huge. And then to be able to just say that he made a decision to play in a space that was going to challenge him so that he could be ready as much as he could be for the next step. And we're not in the business of trying to win a state championship. Obviously, we can't do that. But we are in the business of preparing kids to go play at the next level. And for him to take that step and show that this is the place for him to be able to do that. And then hopefully as he transitions next year and the years forward, it'll show.
The team that you have this year, how fun is it to take this group around the country?
Oh, it is. It's a blast. I mean, the thing I love the most, and me and my staff have said, some of the guardrails that were placed in, whether it be resources, whether it be like our administration of the school, and our culture, identity, whatever it may be, some of the guardrails have been really great for us rather than looking at them as limitations. And one of those guardrails is you have to be able to cut in the classroom. These kids are great in the classroom. They have great relationship with the teachers. Some of my best wins are teachers coming to me during the day randomly and saying, just highlighting a student athlete, a basketball player in the classroom. And a lot of those times, those conversations are built around how good of kids they are. So to be able to travel with them and be in hotels and buses and vans, and we've taken a couple flights together. In Florida, we were there for 10 days, which were there was a lot, especially on me. But
I'm sure
with these kids, it's a moment I know they'll never forget for the rest of their lives, and a moment I won't forget. And to know that they're the flagship group, like they're the one to open up the doors and set the standard and bring the culture to the level we want it to be. It's super exciting. Not only them, and then the one singer we had last year, Tegan Curley, who's at one of the top 25 Division IIs right now at Fort Hays State. For him to be our only senior last year and to take year one, the big step with us, him and the rest of these kids from this year's class, like, I can never be grateful enough for them.
Coming full circle for you, being a part of this community as a player at Springdale, coach, a trainer at AAO, to now what you're doing at the new school. How much does it mean to you to try to be as impactful with this community and what you're doing as possible?
Actually, I told my head of school, who's my boss, I told her that the minute I am put in a situation where I lose the ability to focus on building our community and the kids within it, is the day I don't want to shop anymore. If it becomes about something that's not that, I don't want to do it. And I've had a little bit of interest from the college standpoint, the pursuit of starting I hope to one day be a college career in coaching. But right now, like, this community means so much to me. Missouri born, Arkansas raised is what I like to say. And I'm raising my two little boys here. And to know that the work I'm doing is going back into uplifting our community, that's the biggest mission I have within all of it. And like I said, I'm very passionate about it and very committed to it. As you can imagine, some feathers have been ruffled by what we do. But in the day,
Yeah, sure.
I know I'm here for our community and just trying to provide another great option to uplift it. So
Yeah. Not to dig into that, but how do you just continue on the path that you're on when obviously people are going to have an opinion about what's happening?
there's too much work to do.
Sure.
Yeah, you're like a lot of times, like I don't even have the ability to come up for a breath and hear or listen what other people may be doing or saying. I stay committed to our program. I feel like that's how you keep guys, right? And that's how you attract. You build your program and focus on it. So I I let that be that. And for me, it's again at the end of the day, and I've got an amazing circle, a tight knit circle around me, and they know, my administrators know, the community at the school knows. I'm not just trying to create a super cool basketball team that's all about just basketball talent. I'm trying to do something that benefits the community inside the new school and then outside within the Northwest Arkansas region. So, sticking to the mission and sticking to the work is what gets me through it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're building something really, really special over there. And it's just the beginning, as you said.
Yeah.
You can't even see the ceiling.
No, I hope we continue to rock it up towards it. But yeah.
Yeah. It's been really fun to learn about the new school and the story. And so thank you for sharing more. I mean, I'll have to be honest, I had no idea. And maybe that's the point of this conversation, is just getting people more aware of what you guys are building over there, because it's special.
Yeah. No, it's a much needed, and I'm bad about it, about getting out in front of people and selling, so to say, what we do, or just highlighting what we do. But some of that it's good because it takes away the assumptions. Like, we're not offering NIL, we're not paying players to come to do what we do, or we're not just trying to tear down other schools or communities or this or that. Like, we're trying to do what we do at a high level and focus on the right things that get us where we're going.
Well, I appreciate the conversation.
Of course.
Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to DaShaun for sharing his vision and what the new school is doing for the game of basketball. I look forward to seeing how it continues to grow. And I thank you for listening to our conversation. If you have missed any of our previous conversations, make sure to check those out. Such great insight and knowledge into these basketball players and coaches recently that I definitely don't want you to miss. So if you missed any, go to our YouTube page, go to our podcast page, and listen to those while you're at it. Also follow us on social media. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X, where we have got so many highlights and interviews for you, behind the scenes stuff, all of it, to keep you in the know with what's happening around the state in high school athletics. And subscribe to the newsletter at varsityvibearkansas.com. The Valonia girls basketball team is this week's Varsity Vibe Team of the Week. A big-time win on the road last week, 74-54 over Little Rock Christian.
We knew we had to key in on their two best players, Whitley Rogers and number 21 Hatcher, and they had an unbelievable game on us. They were running off those side staggers and elevators. That really hurt us. They got going from the outside, and they hit the boards hard, and we knew they were going to. And offensively, we played a really good game tonight. And but anyways, yeah, they're a really good team. It's a good road win for us, and just proud of my girls.
They followed up that win over LRCA with a 54-39 win the next day against Greenbrier. The Eagles right now 23-2, 11-0 in conference. Congratulations to the Valonia girls basketball team, our Varsity Vibe Team of the Week. Thank you so much again for joining us. I cannot wait to bring you our next conversation, and a big thank you to our sponsors who make everything possible here at Varsity Vibe. I'll see you next time.